All right, awesome. So we're live.
Awesome.
1 second. Okay, I'm ready now. So just a quick welcome to the show. Welcome to the community. I don't know if I've seen you at one of our events before or part of our social media. I'm not too sure, but I have seen your name pop up quite a bit, Kopano. But anyway, welcome to the platform. Welcome to the Likeminds community, and thank you for agreeing to partake in this live chat. And I think the conversation we're about to have is one of importance because it's overlooked as a strategy more than often. People like to, refer to other more traditional type strategies. So yeah, without further ado, I will introduce you. Give me a second. We do have a little bit of a profile on you. I will share that on the screen. So for everybody listening, this is a talk and our guest is Kopano Moshoana. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I tend to struggle a little bit. She is the CEO of KPRM Marketing Solutions and co-founder of Sorted VA. And the talk today will be on email marketing for startups. And yeah, that's where we'll start. So Kopano, I don't know if I've done you justice as far as an introduction, but I will allow you to just briefly break down a bit about yourself and just where you're at now in terms of where you are professionally and and that's all.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, community. And hi, Matthew. So I have definitely been following Likeminds Tribe for quite some time. Never attended your events. But always media and always had that interest to say, getting to at least see, people like myself in one place and talking about things, bouncing off ideas. I've always wanted that. Then, of course, COVID came through and I was just like, okay, I can't do anything at the moment. But definitely once the world is open again, I'll definitely be coming to one of your guys' events. And just like he had mentioned, my name is Kopano Moshoana, and I am the CEO of KPRM Marketing Solutions, which is a digital marketing agency that basically helps small businesses, startups, and corporates with, digital solutions to maintain, establish, and grow their online or digital footprint. And then I am also the owner and co-founder of Sorted VA, which is a virtual assistance company that I recently started about 7 months ago, because I realized the gap in South Africa that, we have a lot of PAs, but most of them are not really virtual. And there's a lot of benefits and advantages of having somebody basically take on the role as a PA, but doing it virtually. So that's when I realized the gap and I started that with my partner, Millicent. And yeah, we've been doing that for about 7 months now. It's been great. It's just more about brand building and getting the name out there. And that's me, basically.
Awesome. Thank you for that introduction. I always see how you get down on LinkedIn. Actually, I've seen some of your carousels and some of the stuff you post, and I was like, okay, cool. She basically does know what she's talking about, because they always say people who can articulate what they've learned or what they practice are people who are some sort of an expert at what they do. So I thought, okay, since you're big on digital marketing and an array of other things, but mainly for this conversation, digital marketing, I thought, okay, it would be interesting to have this conversation with you. And I mean, before the chat, I did go through your website and I saw that email marketing is one of your focuses. So I thought, oh, even better, because now we can actually have an in-depth conversation as far as this particular service goes and how important and relevant it can be for anyone who's starting a brand or anyone who has a startup business or a small business currently. I mean, first, I would like to ask, in your honest opinion, do you think email marketing is dead? Because there's been a lot of talks around that, but what is your personal opinion?
Absolutely not. Not even by a mile to say that it's actually dead. It's actually very much alive, and it's yet to still grow in the future. So for me personally, email marketing is one of the oldest and traditional. That's why I guess it's associated with traditional marketing. It's probably the oldest methods of marketing, but still very impactful till this day. So for me, I think to answer your questions, it's definitely not dead. It's definitely a very valuable marketing strategy or tool to use within your overall strategy. So for me, I definitely don't think it's dead. I think it's very much alive. And I think it's also a thing of how do you use it? Because a lot of things in digital marketing, if you're not using them right, you will not see the impact of it. So how are you actually using email marketing as a strategy in your overall marketing strategy? What are the ways that you approach it, etc.? And yeah, basically it's just really about how you're using it. So if you're using it correctly, you will then realize that it actually is not dead. But if you're not using it correctly, you may feel that, oh no, it's dying. And I think it's because there's this misconception that if it's old, it's dying. Not really, not necessarily. I feel that digital marketing is actually just a new concept of marketing. It's not that it's not marketing, traditional marketing per se, but it's just a new way of doing it, a new method. That's how I feel about digital marketing, email marketing.
Actually, that's on point. So actually, I just thought that maybe the sequencing is maybe wrong, but let's start with what is email marketing first for those who don't know, because I take it, I always try to make sure that people from different backgrounds would be able to understand this conversation, even if they weren't marketers or involved in media in any way. So maybe let's start. We've already touched on, is it important or, is it dead? But now we're going to touch on what is email marketing.
Okay, so I think just to keep it very simple and for everyone to simply understand, email marketing is basically a certain method of marketing where you utilize emails. I think that's the most simplest way to put it. So you utilize emails to market your business, your products, or any specials, or any way to build customer relationship management. Those are some of the stuff that you utilize email marketing for. So it's literally just using email to market your stuff.
Okay, that's perfect. Cool. So now that we understand what it is, and it's not a strategy that's dead and it can still be used very well in today's business world, I want to talk about how important is this for a small business to apply this sort of strategy into their business, and how, maybe not how relevant, but how important it is.
So I think for startup businesses or small businesses, I think it's very vital to be utilizing email marketing as one of the tools to basically amplify your marketing strategy. Reason being is because and especially if you are looking at, especially if you're business to business, even if a business to customer can still work, but essentially any type of industry, and especially business to business, most people use email. That is probably the most common and easiest way of communication and impactfulness, or that transactional feel between a customer and a business. But of course, social media came around, but that's a topic for another day. But basically, having access to email, it is convenient because everyone has it and it's commonly used. Mm-hmm. It is rather cheap if you are looking for certain, tools or apps that can basically help you to create a impactful email marketing campaign. There are definitely tools where they're free, or you have an option to do a 14-day free trial just to test it out. Then there's definitely different packages where you would be fit to say, okay, I can afford this. And it basically assists you with the overall goal of actually getting people to understand what you're trying to do with the email marketing strategy. So are you trying to promote your business? It will do that for you. Are you trying to promote a certain products or services, maybe a product launch of a new product or service? it will help you? Are you just trying to create a deeper relationship, increase engagement with your existing client base? That's basically what it will help you with. So I think the most important thing with startup businesses and small businesses, they need to take this tool and basically use it as a way to harness relationships with existing clients and also to expand on the existing client base. So for me, I think using email is extremely important in your overall marketing strategy.
I do agree as well. But how is this working for you practically? Like in terms of like with your clients per se, like in business, how often are clients coming to you saying, "Hey, Kopano, can you help us with an email marketing strategy? Can you help us with a this kind of thing?" So how often are people coming to you for that sort of advice, and how often are you offering it to clients? And what is the perception around it?
All right, very good question, Matthew. I'm glad you actually asked. So I think from a practical perspective, especially with the client base that basically approaches me, it's very rare that people actually come to me for email marketing, because I think it's still quite a topic that people are trying to get to know. And this is me speaking from a local perspective. So literally just South Africa and nationally, the different provinces, etc., before looking at the global space. I think in the global space, it's a bit more common, but more so in Africa or in South Africa, or my area where most of my clients come from, they really ask for email marketing. And I think it's because they actually don't know the benefits that email marketing has. So I think once they are clued up as to what impact email marketing can have for you, I think that's when, more clients will then come comfortably to say, okay, I think I want to use email. I see that it works really well. And I think for me personally, I've used it for my own company and it has worked pretty well. Yes, not everyone is going to reply to those messages, existing clients, but it is always good to, I think also a great strategy with emails that the bigger the number, the higher the chance that you could get, somebody to reply and say, okay, I actually want that. But in the same breath, quantity is not necessarily quality. So if you're lucky enough to be in that position to have a whole pool of high quality leads, then you're very lucky. So I wouldn't say to people to just go and email to anybody. It has to be targeted. It has to be segmented, because if you don't have a goal in place with why you're using email, it then becomes quite futile, and you don't see those results that you were intending to receive. So I think I diverted a bit there, but to answer your question, but not many people actually come for email marketing services, and I feel that is because they actually don't really know the true benefit of it.
And the value. I mean, that's fine, because social media did come with a boom and a bag. So I think it is a relevant conversation to have in contrast of email marketing, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have this perception, because you have more followers, it's a higher reach, as opposed to with email marketing. It's like if you have 1,000 people or 5,000 people on your thing, that's all you have. And you can't reach more out of that. It's very direct. Hence, I think it's also called direct marketing, or part of direct marketing. But with social media, I think a lot of clients are seeing like, the potential of maybe, going viral and reaching 1 million people. So there's the opportunity. So maybe let's have the conversation in contrast of maybe the benefits of both and the disadvantages of both. Oops. Okay.
So I would say, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So I would say with social media, I think the reason why people love social media more is that they're under this huge misconception that more is better. Not necessarily. You can have 50,000 followers, but your engagement rate or reach is literally below 3%. So for me, I think it's about quality. It's like the chat we had about quantity versus quality. So it's the same thing. The same thing applies for social media. And I think with social media, I think it's a great tool to attract a great tool to attract people to, your business page so that they can go onto your website. And then email is basically used to maintain that relationship.
Okay. So they work together. They can work together.
Absolutely. So I always say to my clients, all of these things that are in digital marketing, they can operate by themselves, but they have to work together with somebody else or something else, rather.
Yeah.
So with social media, because a lot of people have this huge misconception that digital marketing is only social media, and it really isn't. There's so much more that goes into digital marketing. Social media is just an aspect of it. It's a helper, just like email marketing is also a helper. There's still paid ads that also go in there. And it's about how do you get that balanced mix of everything so that it works well in such a way that it's like some sort of automation, marketing tool that will assist you in gaining the sales, gaining those high quality leads, getting those conversions, etc. So I think in contrast, social media is basically, for me personally, it's a way to attract. The value add there is for awareness. Like you said, it's about being viral. You're getting more of the crowd, as opposed to email marketing. If you're going to have 1,000 emails, but they're not targeted, it's quite futile, because then it's like cold emailing. There's nothing wrong with it, but the chances of you actually converting is rather low. Then to at least get somebody like a warm lead. So what is a warm lead? Basically, if you have, for instance, on your website, someone goes into your website and then a pop-up appears to say, hey, subscribe to our newsletter. We have a monthly newsletter where we talk about, the different stuff that we offer, stuff that we are up to as a company or business, etc. And if someone is already interested and they actually subscribe, that's a warm lead. Why? Because they're already interested in your company. No one is going to just fill in the email knowing very well that, okay, because when a customer decides actively, okay, I'm going to insert my email into this and download or if maybe it's a download of an ebook or a PDF something, or I'm going to subscribe to this newsletter, it means there's some sort of value that they see. So would you rather pitch to them again via email or pitch to someone that hasn't even downloaded your newsletter? That's basically also the difference. So targeting, who are you doing it for? So basically those are some of the stuff that are different. So for me, for social media, like I've mentioned, it's to attract. It's also just to keep people in the loop or in the know of what your brand is doing. What are they up to? Do you guys have any new services, or are you relaunching something? That's a great platform for that. And just to always keep people, it's top of mind. Say, hey, I'm actually here. We actually here. We still exist. We here. With marketing, it's we here, but then once we take whoever is interested from social media, goes onto our website, probably subscribes to our newsletter, and now we have their email. That's like a whole customer journey. So it's awareness, consideration, and then of course with the newsletter that you get, you're still in the consideration phase because you haven't purchased anything, but you're interested. So that's some of the stuff come into play. And then of course purchase comes. But usually with purchase, you have to send quite a few emails, a lot of campaigns in order to, score people in.
I mean, the purchase, in my experience, it usually takes long. I mean, I don't know if this has happened to you as well, but sometimes you would have spoken to a client 6 months to a year ago who was aware of your service, but never purchased from you because maybe they were still considering whether you were a service provider that they wanted to use. And then only 6 months to a year down the line, they hit you up like, hey, do you still offer this and that? I'm looking to buy into this. And then, you get the quotes and invoices rolling, but it only takes, it does sometimes take a long time. So I think, that's a valuable point.
3 to 6 months until the person decides, actually, I like you. I'm going to actually give you business. So it's also about not giving up too quickly. So for instance, a lot of companies, they'll find themselves gaining a lot of warm leads, but they won't convert, and you're getting so frustrated. And funny enough is that what you don't know is that warm lead will come back. Yes, it may not come back. They may not come back within a month, within 2 months, but at the end of the day, they're aware of what you're providing, and also the power of referral. So if they finally come to you and say, actually, I do remember that you do provide this, just wanted to find out if you're actually still providing it, then you tell them, yes, we still do. They get the service, and then referral just starts to happen. Where you know, you're not actively marketing as hard, but other people are doing the marketing for you. I think that's probably every business's dream, where they're just like, actually doing the marketing on our behalf.
Yes, I do want to speak about that. Just want to quickly pause and say, shout out to everyone who's watching, and anyone who's watching. If you guys do have questions for Kopano in terms of email marketing and anything in alignment with that strategically and what we're talking about in this conversation, please do send in your comments or your questions so that they may be answered as our conversation goes along, as well towards the end. We will be, tying in everything as far as the conversation. So sending those questions, and so we can get all of that going. So back to your point on referrals and having referrals being one of I think the biggest or the most effective mediums or methods of marketing, where people are actually just referring your business. But I want to speak a little bit about how that happens. How do you get to a point where your business is like the Mercedes of the world, where people just refer you? You know what I mean? As opposed to like you doing all the heavy lifting day by day. How do you get there?
I think from my experience, especially when you're gonna do all the heavy work, trust me, because it's like especially with marketing, it's like starting a relationship or a friendship. That courtship, it's I need to press you subtly in order for you to trust me, so that I can have your loyalty, and then now we're together, now we're friends. So it's starting out, you're still gonna do a whole lot of courting, subtle ways to tell you, actually, this is why I'm such an amazing person. This is why it's so great to be my friend. That's basically how marketing is. And I think once you get to a point where people are actually doing the marketing for you, it's when it comes about after, quite some time of real effort of your marketing, and if it's effective as well. Because a lot of people think marketing is just marketing where you can just go and put a blanket effect, you market, and then that's it. It's very, so whatever company that you have to tailor it within your marketing strategy. So effective, if you're doing it effectively over a period of time, that's when you start to now build that relationship. Clients get to know you, they come work with you again. Now that referral flow starts to happen. And I think the most impactful or the most powerful way to get people to refer your company is through service, customer service. That's the most important thing, guys. I wouldn't even lie to you. This is personally me speaking, that if you give one person extraordinary service, trust me.
Oops. I think we lost her, or is my connection unstable? Okay. Bit of a technical error or glitch, guys. Please hold on while we try and sort this out. Okay, I think it's fine on my side. All right. Cool, so we'll just wait for her to come back. I think network was an issue on her side. But yeah, guys, in the meantime, I mean, if you do have any questions for us as far as email marketing goes, and why it is important, or why would it be important for you to want to build an email list? Oh, she's back. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Was that me or you?
Since you logged out, I'd like to say it's me, even if it was you. Yeah.
So I was still saying that I think the most powerful way is really just giving the greatest service, no matter how small or how big that business. So whether you're servicing a startup or whether you're servicing a corporate, you give the same standard, high quality service. That's also a
Yeah.
great way to increase recommendation and referral.
So what do you think about communities, tribes, that sort of thing, or building those things? What is your take on, building a community as far as your business goes? But I think it's in alignment with what we're talking about now, as far as doing good service, and eventually your clients start to, like your service well enough to want to refer it. And I mean, if you've learned anything from brands like your Nike, Homo, ShopRite, they've created it, and it may not be so structured like on Facebook as far as ShopRite goes, but it's like they do have a community of people who refer them in the community of where they live, that okay, this is the supermarket to go to because they sell this cheaper here than they do there, and it's quality and da 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 da. So how important do you think that is for someone who's building a business?
So I think it's MB. It's so important going to. You are not for everyone, and that's something that you need to accept once you start. Over time, you're going to build a certain customer base that will always come to you. Yeah. Yes, it's great to penetrate new markets. I wouldn't say don't do it. I'll always encourage that. But if there's always a certain market or certain people that always come back to you, you rather nurture them and let them grow within that community. Because I firmly believe that within community, there's like-minded individuals. And if you keep taking care of them, it will expand. That's how I feel. So for me, community is definitely much better than, being very generic and generalizing everything. Rather stick to who basically appreciates your value as a company, and whoever's open to learn more about it, i.e. new markets, then so be it. But I would say the most important thing is to already nurture the existing people as opposed to always acquiring new clients. And I think that's the biggest mistake that businesses do, especially corporates. They always look at, I know it's about the bottom line, etc., blah, 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 but they're always looking at how can they attain new clients every time. No, we need new clients. And they forget about their existing clients. And then over time, these existing clients leave because they're not feeling nurtured. But how it's supposed to be is that, yes, actively look for new clients, but still taking care of your tribe, the people that started out with you and are always, rooting for you and, referring you to other people.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. We do have a question, however, from Edith, I think, who's on our YouTube page. The question is, how do you then market your product via email without bombarding your customers with lengthy emails that they might not even read? And how do I make sure it doesn't end up in their spam box?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And it basically will cover the pointers that you had sent to me earlier. So thank you for your question, Edith. So basically, when you're sending out an email, like I had mentioned, it's first of all, you ask yourself these questions. Who am I marketing to? Who am I sending this email to? Number one. The reason why you need to know who is because the demographics are different. You can't write the same copy for a 24-year-old and then writing the same copy for a 44-year-old. They're completely in different places in their life. And that means everything else is completely different, including their copy, how they read stuff, how they're impacted by things. So number one, knowing who you're emailing it to makes it easier in terms of writing copy. But I would say a very general rule when it comes to email marketing, short and sweet, very concise. try to be very direct as well. And don't forget your call to action. Because I know a lot of companies, they'll go on about a certain product, but then they forget to add a call to action, because that's basically the whole point of you sending the email. Whether the call to go to your website or visit a certain landing page for more information of maybe a new product that you guys are releasing, or any promotions or specials that you guys have out there, or if it's just to mainly just market your business to other people, to say, this is what we offer, this is how we can help you, these are the benefits, and then just basically close it off to say, visit our website for information. So in order for it not to be lengthy and bore people, it needs to be structured in such a way that first of all, it's a nice icebreaker where it's very personalized. Hi, Edith, or no, let me not use Edith's name. For example, say for instance, Edith is sending this message to her potential client and says, "Hey, name," because there's so much power in personalization. There's so much power making it feel like it's really directed to that person. That personality is very important as well when writing emails. So perhaps your subject line could be something of, "Hi, name. I'm so interested. I want to tell you about this amazing product that could, potentially impact your business." Okay, you don't have to write exactly that, but you try to find ways to write that in a nice, short, and concise way. Then you follow with the body of your email. This is where you need to keep it short, sweet, direct. This is the product. These are the features. These are the benefits. Here's the call to action. Literally, that's it. Nothing else matters. Reason why I'm saying this is because literally a customer, all they care about. And I think also, Edith, when you are writing copy, think about it in such a way that when I'm reading this, am I interested? If already you're getting bored, you need to go back to the drawing board. So you need to think. You need to think as a customer as you're drafting these email marketing campaigns. So especially when it comes to copy, because that's probably the biggest one as to why people, the open rate is low, or people it immediately goes to spam. So always remember that you need to write for the customer. So get a nice icebreaker, then then you continue with the features and benefits. That's the body. The end is actually the call to action. So whether it's to visit the website, visit my YouTube channel, follow us on social media, download our free ebook, or subscribe to our newsletter. That's how it should be drafted. So that it basically, when you have such a format, it easily prevents going on and on about the product. Because I know, especially as business owners, you get so passionate about what you're offering that you tend to forget that, no, remember, the real solid selling point is the features, the benefits, and then the call to action. And of course, that nice icebreaker where you can personalize it the best way you know how, whether it's to add statistics about, why people should actually get your product, etc. Playing around with it in that type of way as well. And then also another way to prevent your email going into spam, watch your subject lines. Like that one is NB, because that's the first thing someone looks at before they even go into your email. If your subject line is free stuff, or call now, it's going straight to spam. So you need to be very creative as to how you approach. And I always say personalization always works best. Hey, Kopano, you give this great product that I just saw. They're going to it, because it's already, there's I think there's a 50% higher open rate when you use a name, as opposed to just using any other generic. Because already they're like, oh, okay, they're talking to me. And how everyone themselves. They're like, oh, for me, okay, cool. Let me just go in. And also, if you feel that your offering is a bit too lengthy and you feel that in order for people to understand, you have to explain a bit more, try to cut, paragraphs with some nice imagery. Images are always welcomed, but don't overuse it. I'd say max 2 images or 3 at most. And then, finish it off with the call to action. And even with your call to action, make it fun. If you are, if you are a person that's into color, play around with your CI. What colors do you use? Your font, play around with that so that it's also, people can easily catch it. So if it's maybe bolded out there so that people, maybe it's the first thing that they see, then already that action of actually clicking on whatever that you're asking them to do is already there. It's evident. So it's also about the design of your email as well. I hope I answered your question, Edith.
I think you did, and now you're just adding bonus gems because I think that sorts Edith out. She did say thank you. Oh no, right. That was us. Sorry. Another question is there an easy way and effective way to measure my email marketing efforts for someone who doesn't have much knowledge about marketing and analytics?
So that's why I'd always encourage people to get applications like MailChimp, Sendinblue. These are, or even CRM tools as well. Yeah. These basically help you to understand your marketing efforts. But even if you are pretty new to the analytics space, I do still encourage people to still learn about it, because it's not something that you'll easily understand if you don't do some sort of research or reading into analytics. But the applications make it easier in such a way that they will only highlight the metrics that matter, because there's so much metrics that when it comes to analytics, you get so overwhelmed because you're just like, okay, so which one will tell me that I'm actually doing well? Which one will tell me that actually people are actually opening my email and clicking on my call to action? So those are some of the people I would definitely recommend to, do more research so that you are more capable to actually start to analyze what is doing well in your email, what's not doing well, what needs to just go completely, and what needs to be incorporated more.
Yeah, definitely. Hope that answers that person. I didn't want to ask you actually before this question came in, what tools would you recommend for people to do email marketing, and what tools do you use for yourself, right? Whether it's to analyze, whether it's to send, and that sort of thing. What are you currently using, without giving too much away, but what do you recommend people use?
I'm pro giving away stuff. So
okay. Some people are still like, my secret, family secret. So,
but you know what's the funny thing though, Matt, is that there is not really a secret essentially. So if you give out certain applications that you're using, not everyone will know how to use it. So that's where the secret is.
Well, how do you use it? Really?
Yes, exactly. How do you use it? Because I can tell you, I use MailChimp. My clients use Sendinblue as well.
Is it Sendinblue?
Sendinblue. Yes, sendinblue.com. Check it out. So those are my top two. I think because I've never been disappointed so far with them, but some people prefer a CRM tool, where it's everything all in one. It's a whole marketing and sales automation tool that includes email marketing, where you can, track your campaigns. Are they doing well or not? And usually those are like Salesforce, HubSpot, Meltwater. Yeah, there's quite a few, but that's some of the stuff that I would recommend people to look into.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, guys, I definitely will put in some of the stuff that you're speaking about in the description. We will add some of these Sendinblues just in case you want to follow up on using these tools for yourself. Now, mainly why this topic appealed to me was because of something I heard from a guy who is, I think he's in the UK. His name is Stephen Bartlett or something. He owns the company Social Chain. And in one of his interviews, he says the next wave of marketing isn't necessarily, focusing on what Instagram is doing next, or what Twitter is doing next, or LinkedIn, or whatever it is. It's actually email, because on email, you get 100% what you call send rates. And of course, whoever opens your mail, but you've got 100% of the attention all the time, as opposed to with Instagram, you've got to pay for that attention. But with email, you actually you own 100% of the attention all the time. So that was why I was like, okay, cool. This would be interesting for people to, kind of break down. But what's your take on that?
Oh, so I absolutely agree with him. I think also, like I had mentioned, especially that's why I feel like it's very essential for people that are starting out, because it's actually the most impactful. If you're using it right, you'll be very, very surprised. And I think also if you're intentional about the goal that you have in place. So if your intention is to say, I need to grow my email list, like heavy with all high quality, potential leads, and use those leads, and then now, start an email marketing campaign. So what he had mentioned is definitely true. The send rate is 100%. Whereas with Instagram, you have to pay for an ad for people to then now, get that targeted feel to say, oh, okay, I'm seeing this ad, maybe let me go and reach out. But already you had spent a certain amount of investment or amount of money to actually get. But whereas with email, there's no that. Unless, of course, if we're talking about a large pool of emails that you're sending through, then of course there's going to be some sort of implication of expenses or finances. But more than anything, as opposed to social media, you're going to pay for ad space, etc. But with email, it's totally different. So I definitely agree with his statement.
Because, for example, we definitely built Likeminds with email marketing. I don't know if you are on our list, but we definitely built it with email marketing. And this is a giveaway. What's that?
And I'm saying, and how has it worked for you? I'm sure it's been pretty good.
Brilliantly. If all the events were fine, maybe 10% from social media, right? Because we put it out there, but 90% of the people that attended our events or participated in our community were all from email, right? Because it's like, how do you get to people's doorsteps the easiest, the quickest? And that was the intention for me at the time. Because social media, you know what I mean? There's thousands of posts, thousands of people seeing thousands of content a day. Whereas with email, I sent you that email, you know what I mean? Inviting specifically you to that specific event, which I think you would be interested in, which is another thing I want to touch on, warming up leads. But yeah, for example, you send, and this would probably not happen as easy as it would with email. We'd send, for example, 1,000 emails inviting people to an event, and we get an open rate of about 500. We'd get 200 and something people saying, will I come? So that is a killing, and you spend a lot less as you would on social media. For that kind of return on social media, which is also effective, by the way, you'd spend maybe anywhere between, depending on how good your ad is, targeting, etc., maybe a couple of thousands, maybe from the 800s to a couple of thousands, just to get that type of engagement and response. So I think personally that people should invest in email marketing as the next way to go. And I mean, if you've seen, this has been happening quite a bit now. A lot of these celebrities, celebrity entrepreneurs, or just or personalities in general, what they've been doing, if you've noticed their content, they all have their text me now number, text me, etc., etc. Because guess what? People are always on their phones, and now you have direct access to, you know what I mean, whatever. So things like that are new ways to beat this algorithm thing, right? Because now if you've got 100,000 numbers, you can SMS 100,000 people regarding your products, regarding your whatever, and it reaches them without any interruption. All you'd be paying for is sending the SMS out, which is a fraction of what you would make back as a return.
Yeah.
So definitely email marketing is one thing to look at very closely, especially for these next coming years where people become more, I don't want to say conceited, but they want to feel more important in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. So inviting, like you said, hyper-personalization, when you invite someone, it makes them feel like, oh, okay, you spoke to me, you said, hi, Kopano, or hi, Matt, but it's quite different if imagine I texted you on WhatsApp and I was like, I already just, I just started and I said, hey, I want to invite you. First, like, okay, first of all, is this targeted at me or is you know what I mean? So it's that, that thing for a second, but I really see your point with all of that. But now, as I said, the second point, I do want to speak about like, how do you warm up leads? Because you did mention people don't do enough research as far as emailing people goes. But what would you say people would need to do to find out more about this specific person that they're trying to email? So warm up the lead, basically.
Okay, so I think if you are looking to target, say for instance, you're targeting small businesses in a certain area, since for argument, say 4 ways. So you're looking at business owners in 4 ways. So now you're going to acquire the emails, right? That you get from in. Once you get those emails, a nice way to personalize or get them to warm up to whatever that you're sending through to them. Research personalization is so important because say in 4 ways and they do IT, for instance, and you go onto their website, do a bit of research, see what they've achieved, see what they offer, and try to create a synergy from your offering and how it can how it can help them with their current, offering or space that they're in. So I would always encourage to do a bit of research. It's like, I know I'm diverting here a bit, but it's more or less the same principle. With LinkedIn cold messaging, or if you're deciding to message people, etc., on LinkedIn, I would always say their profile first. See if there's any mutual friends or any mutual interest that you guys have, and build on that. So when you send to say, hi, Matt, I saw we went to the same high school. That's pretty cool. My name's Kopano. I actually do 1, 2, 3. I see you own a small business. What do you guys do? I see that one of your services is A, and I think my service B could actually help your service A. Let me know. Have a great day. That will actually impact somebody as opposed to say, hi, Matt. My name is Kopano. I own a business. This is my services. Please call us. Thank you. Do you see the difference?
Sounds so cool.
Exactly. So the difference is one thing that a customer will take from that is, wow, they actually did research about us. Okay, these people are really interested in helping us. Because usually with sales, they always just say, they don't really care. They just want to sell their stuff. But essentially, we actually do care, and we want to assist them. But they need to feel that way. You shouldn't make them assume that you do care for them. You have to let them know intentionally. So I would definitely say personalization works magic. It does. So do your research. That's why knowing who you're emailing to is so important, because then you know how you approach them, what to say, how to actually draft your email, etc. That's some of the stuff or ways to warm up your leads. And also, I know that we haven't gotten to this, but I'm thinking this would definitely just link to what you had asked. A lot of people say, okay, cool, email marketing is great, but how do I start? Because some people, you find that, I started, but now I don't have any emails. How do I start gathering emails? And literally how you do that is by, offering an incentive, whether it's a monthly newsletter, whether it's a free ebook on certain secrets or secret source of what you guys do at your company and how it can help somebody else. Free tips, free guides, you see it everywhere. And if you, and of course it will depend on what space you're in. For example, if you're in the IT space or even the marketing space or automation space, let's say, what's this, download a free trial or demo, etc., so that you can see how it actually works. But in order to get all of that, you need to put in your email. And that's how you build. Then, of course, once you get all these emails, you then start to sift through all of them to say, okay, which one is really targeted, the people that we actually really want. Because it goes back to the whole quantity thing. You may have a lot, say you have 100 emails that you collected, but you may find only like 20 or 30 are actually really great, high quality leads that could potentially actually take whatever that you are offering. So those are some of the stuff that you have to think about as well.
No, definitely. I agree with you on that. We do have another question though from Ayanda at Kopano. What are some of the issues you've encountered with email marketing? For me, it has been design and spam. And how have you overcome that?
So with the spam, it's basically what we had mentioned the previous thing with Edith. Hi, Ayanda, by the way. So basically, it's about how you structure your subject line. And then it goes further to say, how do you also structure your actual email, the body of it? What are you saying? Are you saying the right stuff? But usually with spam, it's literally because of your subject line. People, usually when it's spam, don't even open the email. They just look there, just fire the subject there, and they're already just turned off, and it goes straight to spam.
Yeah. What about like links and stuff? Like I think also link, if you have like too many links in your thing.
Yeah. So that's why it's so important to only have a call to action. That's why it's only a call to action. It's not call to actions. It's even, I think this for me personally even spreads through all types of marketing channels besides just email. You can't tell someone, please go view my video and then also please go check my website. You have to choose which one because it's a bit overwhelming for the person. It's like, okay, so you want me to do all of this all at once. So always try to be very targeted with your messaging and your call to action. Yes, you can play around with them, but only play around with them with each email that you send out. But not to, so basically having too many links also is already a turn off. People they get turned off by that. And in terms of the design, that's another thing that turns people off. If the way the actual user experience of the email and how it looks is already off. And this is probably like crazy fonts, overwhelming colors. Like if there's just too much going on and it's not clean enough and maybe there's too much imagery and not enough words to explain what is the intention behind the email, people are not going to consider it at all. So it's about finding that balance of wording, imagery, and your font. So which font needs to be bolded? Which font doesn't need to be bold? Which font maybe needs a brighter color? Because, for instance, for CTA, you would decide, okay, let's bold that and maybe make it a nice bright color so that that's something that they will see. Because at the end of the day, so that's some of the stuff to consider. So having the balance of your writing, your imagery, your font as well. I hope that answers.
Yeah, I think you did. Because I think we did touch on that on the previous question in terms of design and stuff. So also by the way, the talk will be up. So for example, we do have another question, but I'll finish. So for example, if you do want to hear all the stuff that was said via the talk, you can go back to the YouTube channel or from wherever you're watching it. It will be up on Twitter, YouTube, and you'll be able to see some of the stuff that was said, and then you can pretty much note all the points because some of the stuff has been answered before. So we do have a question from the team. From our community manager. She says, would you consider it spam to have all social handles at the bottom of the newsletter?
Okay, no, except for that. That's an exception because I think any general person will know that with social media, it's always more than one. You already know it's probably going to be 2 to 4 at most, or even 5. But for me, I think the most important ones are LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Pinterest, yeah, but I mean, it also depends on your industry as well, who you also targeting, because I definitely don't believe that every business has to be on every platform. It doesn't necessarily work like that. You need to know the demographics of each platform to know which ones you'd penetrate the most. Because so for instance, if you say you're a young influencer marketing agency, you wouldn't really want to now pump in your efforts into LinkedIn. Yes, you may find people there, but Instagram seems to be more suitable because of the demographic. So yeah, that's some of the stuff. But I think with what the community manager asked, no, definitely that's not spam. That's just a normal way. And I think it still basically reiterates the call to action, which is to follow us on socials, so.
Okay. She says thank you, by the way, because she does that on our newsletter. So I guess she's trying to find out, like, am I doing the wrong thing? Okay. One thing I wanted to ask is, because I think we've touched on a lot of things, like warming up your leads, how email marketing can be effective, and all of those things. But I want to know, just to basically encapsulate the whole conversation, what would be your wise words, as far as the conversation, like your signing out words, as okay, in regards to the entire conversation, I think this is the point.
Yeah. So I think home points. I'm guessing, right? So the take-home point for this is email marketing is not dead. Definitely very much alive, and you should definitely consider it as a valuable tool for your overall marketing strategy. Number 2, email marketing you don't have to work as hard as opposed to being on socials. It's more of a targeted type of marketing method, and it usually is a nice way to actually maintain that customer journey of warm leads to that conversion rate that you want. So that's basically one of the key things to use email marketing for. Number 3, so this will be a bit of a long point, but basically just some do's and don'ts. So do's with emails, guys, keep it short, sweet, and concise. Like I had mentioned with Edith, icebreaker, benefits, features, call to action. That's it. With the design, make sure that it's balanced. Which text are we bolding? Which text are we not bolding? Which text are we using color for perhaps call to action, or to basically also align maybe your social media platforms, etc. Those are some of the stuff you also need to consider. So the design as well. Imagery, use 2 to 3 images at most. Don't use more. It's just going to overwhelm the person that's reading. Subject line must be very concise. Personalization, guys. Personalize. That's also another one. Don't use that for subject lines. Your body mustn't be lengthy. And if it has to be lengthy, break it down with some imagery in there. Also, don't use images at all. Don't not utilize images at all. So don't just have text only. That's also just not going to work. No one's going to read what you're basically trying to put out there. What else? Always include a call to action. So don't leave out a call to action. That's a huge don't, because then your intention of this campaign, what is it? What was the goal then? Because if they're not clicking on something, then it's basically futile. What else? I have so much in my brain. Yeah, we spoke about a lot. But I think I've spoken about. If I did leave out anything, you guys can always just, text me individually. I'm very
open. By the way, where can people find you? as far as like your socials, maybe you can drop your email, that sort of thing.
Okay, so on socials, it's KPRM Marketing. So that's KPRM.marketing on Instagram. On LinkedIn, it's KPRM Marketing Solutions. On Facebook, it's also KPRM Marketing Solutions. On Twitter, it's KPRM_marketing. And to find me, it's pretty simple. It's just at K Moshoana. And you can DM me. I'm always open to DMs. I'm always open to trying to help people that are trying to come up, especially the youth. And with everything that's going, on in the country right now, digital is the next wave, guys. Learn something in the digital space. You'll be surprised how it will actually propel you. So I'm always open to helping each other out. I'm very huge on collaboration as well. So that's where you guys can find me. And yeah, I think I've covered everything.
Yeah.
Great.
Unless you have a personal website as well.
Yes, website as well. That's www.kprmmarketing.co.za.
Okay, cool. So you'll actually text me the details and we'll put it in the description. So anyone who wants to find her, as far as the tools and all of that stuff, do stay tuned to this video. I think in the next hour or so, we should have it all updated, or hour two, we should have it updated as far as her details and where you can find her and stuff that was spoken about on the platform in the description. Yeah. So, okay, Kopano, I'm really happy that we had this conversation. I did learn a thing or two. I'm actually happy that, basically all around, I learned actually. I think that's the big point here. Sometimes you have conversations and knowledge is just regurgitated and it's like what you've heard before. And then sometimes you do learn. And this is one of those times, especially around email marketing. It will be interesting to see what tools that you give me that we can jot down, and maybe we can also personally see how we can change the way we do things. But from me, a big shout out, a big thank you for joining us on the platform and the community. And yeah, I definitely hope to have you soon at one of our events or speaking, whatever the case is. It's just part of the community. And I think that's all from me as well. And the conversation, like I said, will be up. And yeah, do subscribe if you're on YouTube. Do like our page if you're on Facebook. If you're on Twitter, do follow us. And yeah, we'll keep these coming for the next, I think, month or so. And yeah, thank you for having this chat with us. And yeah, we sign out.
All right. Bye-bye.